What's up, Nikki? Here we go. Where am I at here? Yes. So we are cruising along. Everything's looking amazing. We're getting closer and closer and closer. And the one big main thing that we needed to address, I've been kind of avoiding it. Well, though I've actually had these placeholders here done for quite some time. But I figured we get the hub world buttons done first before we get into this. But before we get into like the perk icons and all that stuff, I wanted to get our heads up display done. It was a little tricky for me to kind of wrap my head around this, and I might end up growing these buttons or making them slightly smaller. But for the most part, these pixel sizes should be pretty tight. It's gonna be largely like Save to Kill, where this is going to be made up of 4 actors. We're going to have one actor here where my mouse cursor is that is going to represent the health. And then we're going to have this bar here, which is going to, where my mouse is, which is going to represent your powers and your power duration. And I'm going to do something really cool with it. Versus originally I had the bar like kind of spawn above the humanoid's head to let the player know how long they had with their duration. But I think if we're making this bar pretty big down here, it should all kind of work out. And I'll show you what I want to do with it as far as making it kind of cool with some animation frames. And then here we've got your ultimate attack tally and then your bomb tally. And I might swap these or, play around with these. And I'm not really sold on the size of these. If you feel like maybe we should make them a bit smaller than the pixel size that I give you, that's fine. But basically what I'm going to do is, the main thing with these boxes, and we'll get right into them right now, is in the corner here where my mouse is, I would like that to maybe be like a little box, or just to be at the very least like white, so I can put a drawing event in that has the correct tally of their ultimate attacks and how many bombs that they have left. So getting right into these buttons, the first one would be the ultimate attack, and I was thinking it can just resemble our ultimate attack. It can be like a smaller version of that skull and crossbones. You can kind of see like I've got that here, and then like I said, with the little box in the corner, and then I'll draw through stencil with the drawing event the amount of ultimate attacks that they have left. Right now, what I currently have is 75 width and 35 height. I think that probably could work. I might scrunch these two a little bit closer together. I don't really like how this kind of comes up a little high here above the spikes. So I'd like to get these a little bit lower if I could. But I don't really want to compromise the size too much because I want to make sure that the player can see all this stuff. So it's kind of a little tricky, I think, playing around with their size. And if I've got to like shrink them down just a little bit, I can do that on my end. And the other one would be our bombs. Same kind of thing. This can be very similar to the icon that you're going to be doing for the upgrade icon, the level up icon. It just needs to look like our bombs, which is a very classic, like cartoon looking bomb. And then of course it needs that little window. Now the health bar right here, I was thinking of, in Save to Kill we did little hearts. I was thinking of doing little humanoid heads, kind of like what we've been doing in the the badges in the hub world for completing a level. Just a little, almost like it can be very reminiscent of the power up icons. So with this one, we'll need a bunch of frames. We'll start for when the player can increase their maximum health with perks. So we'll need 5 face animation, 4 faced animation. The one that you're currently seeing right here is 3 faced animation, a 2 faced animation, and a 1 faced animation. We don't need a no faced animation because the player will just immediately die. So we'll need 5 different animation frames for that one to represent his health. Now, the bar, you can see where I've got this little circle here, and then I've got the main bar. And what I'm going to be doing is a drawing event behind this bar here with the correct color of what power up you are. And that's where we're going to get, things are going to get a little tricky, and it's actually going to be really cool. So you can see the regular, what I've got going on right now, as you can see the regular, where my mouse is the regular, it's a picture of the regular bullet. And there's no bar in here. Now, hopefully, oh man, you know, I should have boosted my luck up. You know, actually, let me go back in here and jack my luck up a little bit so I can get some power up spawning. Everything looks really, really good in here, man. Everything looks beautiful. I'm gonna boost my luck up just a little bit and go into level 2 so we can get some more power up spawns so I can show you what I'm thinking with this. So let's see if we can get some power-ups to spawn here. It shouldn't take too long with this much luck, although I don't have any perks. It's actually amazing how much the perks really do. Like you can jack up, because they're multiplicative bonuses, all the perks. So like when you boost your luck up, it's a really nice... Okay, so here we go. So watch the bar. See how it turns into like... And now what we can do here is like a picture of... You know what? Go back and actually boost up my power duration too, so we can actually talk a little bit about this stuff when I actually collect a power up. There we go. So basically, we need an animation frame for every single different power up there is. So we'll need a version of this little circle, and the circle here in my mouse will be a picture of whatever animation it's on. So right now it's a picture of the regular bullet when he is, you know, got his frozen one. It can be a picture of that like icicle. When it's the electric one, it can be like a yellow one, and you know, everything can change. The same with the colors too. So like the color of this one could be our regular grayish blue, and then you can even make the outlines of this circle and the bar like a grayish blue, but definitely keep like some harder dark like framework black tones in there, because I'm going to have a drawing event behind it that has the correct color of the bars. And you'll see here again once I can get... So here comes an electric power up. So you can see, boom, see how I've got the yellow bar going down slowly. So, and then it changes to the electric. And here's a fire. You can see the fire one. It's the same kind of thing. And we're going to grab an ice one. So this is just kind of cool. This will kind of catch, once the colors change, I hopefully will like, you know, catch the player's eye. Here comes a shotgun one. That's more of like a dark grayish, you know, and I'll give you the liberty of kind of like, you know, seeing how you want to do things. So we need here's the green one, you know, that can be a picture of a grenade. Here comes the rocket one, which is like more of a royal blue. That can just, you know, and I was thinking for like here, where my mouse is, these can just be mainly pictures of like the different kinds of bullets. So this right now could be just a picture of the rocket, you know, and then here, this could be a picture almost identical to the power up. You know, you can really almost like use the power ups as a really good guide as far as what icons can kind of go in there, and then base, you know, the framework, you know, with the same color scheme. And then obviously we want to have some darker tones to make sure like the framework really pops. But yeah, so we'll need however many power-ups we have. We have fire, we have ice, we have electric, we have shotgun, rocket, I don't know if I said that one yet, grenade launcher, and is there one more? Fire, electric. I think that's about it. So basically, any power up that we have, you know, we'll need a separate bar for it for the animation, including the original regular one. See, it always diverts back to this regular one, which can just be a picture of our regular plain Jane bullet. So it's a really cool little heads up display. I think it's going to look really sharp. And things are really coming along nicely, you know. Everything really looks good. You know, we've got a whole bunch of little icons and buttons to figure out here, but, you know, for the most part, once this is in, we'll get, you know, once these are done, we'll do this heads up display. Oh, and if I didn't tell you, the HUD bar itself is 275 pixels by 75 height. And then the health bar, the little heads, are 175 pixels by 30. And then the ultimate tally and the bombs tally are 75 by 35. Now, I had originally done a box behind it, like a black box, like right here, to make this pop a little bit more. That was 286 pixels by 76 pixels. I don't know if we need that, because if we do that, it's really, really going to take up, I feel like it's just going to take up a huge amount of real estate behind here. And, you're not going to see the spikes or the springs depending on what difficulty mode you're in. So, I'm thinking that this thing can kind of just be, it is what it is. Maybe when you make these, I don't know, I feel like, the bar here needs to be, have transparency in here, because I'm going to do a drawing event behind it. And I guess I'm okay with the spikes, when there's no bar. I mean, like, I'm okay with spikes running behind there. I'm okay with the HUD, the heads up display kind of being organic and kind of part of the level, versus putting like a big black box behind here. I think things are visual enough where we don't need that. Just because, like I said, it's going to take away so much from the game. I mean, I could always make these things smaller, and I'm really up for, what you think about this. If you think, hey man, that's like way too big, let's shrink this down, I'll give you some ideas. I'm fine with that if you have some ideas on how to make this a little bit smaller, because it does take up a little bit of real estate. But I did want to make sure that when people got these power-ups, that they were easily able to see like how much time that they have, and it can look cool. So I'm up for some ideas. I mean, unless you've got like another clever way, because like right here, maybe this is okay, but maybe we want to try to figure out a way to rework or make these a little smaller, because these we definitely need to show the player how many bombs they have and how many ultimate attacks they have. Like, we've got to convey that to the player. But I mean, these bombs, maybe this is just taking up too much real estate. I don't know if we can make that smaller. Maybe what we could do is we can make these much smaller, and then instead of having a little window here where I do a drawing event, maybe we do separate animation frames. So like, maybe we can make this window much smaller, but we do different anime. I think that the maximum amount of ultimate attacks you could ever have is like 4. Maybe we switch animation frames and just maybe have the actual skull itself with a number like on it already visible to the player, so we don't have to bother with a drawing event, and then we switch animation frames. I'm up for any kind of suggestions you would have, or any kind of input you would have, or we could just run with this. I mean, I don't think it's too bad, but it is quite large on the screen. Maybe it's just catching my eye a lot because it looks like shit. It's a placeholder, Maybe we get some of your beautiful artwork in here. It won't bother me as much with how much space it takes up. So I'd really be interested to know your thoughts on all this. But yeah, man, we are getting closer. All right, man. Let me know what you think. Later.